Alright, I just wanted to make a short review of this toolbox that I bought recently because I think it's so cool. It's a Stanley product. Probably see the logo. Stanley. I don't know like the model number. I probably should have written this down, but I didn't bother because I figured people can just research it. Anyway, I think this is like seriously the coolest light small set tool box that you can buy right now. Ignore the tape. That's just covering up my name. Right, I wrote my name on here because I didn't want people to steal it at work. And I made one modification here, which I think honestly the manufacturer could probably add to this and would add some value. I put a big square over here and a little square over here because on the inside there's two different compartment sets, which I'll show you in a second. So you've got two sets of locks here. These ones you don't want to mess with until you've done the main locks. So basically the sides come down like that, and then these smaller compartments here pop up, and you got your storage areas with these really high quality dividers that come out. Clearly you don't want to be pulling them out when you got screws in there. Yeah, so like I said, the small compartments are on this side. On the other side, you have bigger compartments for your bigger stuff. And this is kind of cool. I don't know if this is an accident or not, but you can actually kind of like lock those underneath the main latches. Yeah, bigger compartments for bigger things, more dividers. I took out the ones that I didn't really need. They're high quality, nice and solid, and they slide in and out really easy. Kind of a weird thing though. The lids, the inner lids are symmetrical, so they have like these grooves for the dividers that actually match up with the dividers on the other side, which I don't really understand the purpose of that, other than they were probably trying to save money on manufacturing. But you can actually see how that works when you push this down. Like, here's the divider, and then there's these little ribs that normally would lock that in place. You can see how it works on the other side where it's actually lining up properly. So just a little bit of an oversight there in manufacturing. Another thing that was kind of weird or curious, I'm going to zoom in here. I don't know if this was just mine in particular or if this is the case with all of these, but you see this bolt right here? That did not come with the toolbox. I had to install that myself, and when I got this, the handle would just pop right out when you open the toolbox, which I can see there's a certain utility there in certain circumstances, but in general it's just kind of a nuisance. So luckily there were already holes in place, and you can see I put a hex bolt through there and a locking nylon lock nut, so that was a fairly easy fix, but it's still like an added expense that I wouldn't have normally had to do if they just put that in naturally, which seems kind of like it was designed. I mean, why else would they have holes there if it wasn't for bolting? Yeah, so incredibly versatile for a small tool set. Really easy to pack a lot of stuff in here. I guess I didn't really mention this, but it's kind of self-explanatory. The bottom part is like a storage compartment for bigger stuff. And so this is what I've got in my toolbox. I thought it would be fun to make this sort of a combo video. I've got a Nextech 12 volt mini driver, Craftsman, with a Irwin quick connect hex 1/4 inch bit. This is a pretty versatile tool. It lacks the power of like a larger, stronger driver, but I find the portability is really nice. And honestly, there haven't been many fasteners that I've had trouble driving with this thing, so pretty cool. The downside is that Nextech, originally the Nextech line when Craftsman launched it, had like over 16 different tools that all use this 12 volt battery. But then I guess they didn't sell well or something, and they pretty much have decided to discontinue the line, because now there's just like 2 or 3 Nextech tools that you can buy that use these batteries. And that's kind of disappointing, because the 12 volt platform is so cool, because you could use it to like jump start your car, or just attach a cigarette lighter port to this, and then you have a whole bunch of appliances and things that can run off of these Nextech batteries, which was the original idea behind the Nextech line. But unfortunately, like I said, for some reason it just didn't catch on. I have a Craftsman stapler slash mini brad nailer. This is a cool design because it really is easier to use than the standard one, because the leverage is in the front instead of the back. And this is a solid tool. I have stainless steel staples in here as well. This is actually part of another tool set that I have that I typically take with me on standard jobs, where I've got a square and this level. This is like obviously bare bones, just like an emergency tool really. It's not like as versatile, but it's good enough for basic stuff. I have this Lutz 15-in-1 manual screwdriver, which it may seem kind of ridiculous to have an electric and a manual, but I just find a standard screwdriver is so useful in so many instances, especially if all your batteries go dead and you're just like in an emergency situation without power. Like, it's still really useful. And this is honestly the absolutely hands down the best manual screwdriver in the whole freaking world, no lie. If you ever are in the market for a manual screwdriver, get one of these, because they just kick so much ass. This is a ratchet screwdriver, so it's got a ratchet setting and then a central, just standard locked shank. Why is this so cool? Because it's got 15 things in here, and now they make a lot of these that are crappy knockoffs, but this is totally the coolest because it has this little rotary thing here. They fit right in the handle. They slide out like super easy. You just go around the rotary and get whatever bits you need, and there's 2 bits for each bit, and then they lock in here. They got a bearing. It's just like super high quality. So I actually use this a lot for small manual adjustments and then emergencies when I run out of power. This Stanley tape measure that I found in a lumberyard that somebody had lost. These are really cool because it's got like a cleat lock, so you don't have to worry about that irritating sliding locking mechanism. The problem is they do kind of wear out over time. This one's already a little bit less useful than it used to be. Yeah, so tape measure, pretty useful for big stuff and occasionally little stuff. Okay, so let's see what else I got in here. Okay, here's my like bit box. Oh god, so many things in here. So I got like carbide drills for multi-material steel and concrete, and I got a lot of bits. I got a few drills, socket. I try to get everything I can for quarter inch because I have the quick connects. I've got 2 quick connects actually, although this is a non-locking quick connect. One of these days I'm going to get a non-magnetic quick connect, because honestly the magnetics are just kind of irritating after a point. I have a sinking bit here. I love this. Like, everybody needs to own one of these, because when you're doing carpentry, it ups your quality and reduces the chance of cracking like dramatically. So that's a must-have. And of course you need like your Allen wrench for adjusting and like putting drills in your countersinking thing. I modified this with a super magnet because it popped open sometimes and I'd have all my bits fall out wherever I was. So now there's a super magnet that locks it in place kind of automatically. Useful. My battery charger for the 12 volt batteries for the driver. This isn't something normally I have in my toolbox, but it's actually something I use super frequently. This is a stock bar of aircraft grade titanium, and I've had this since I was like, I don't know, 10 years old. My dad was a machinist and he gave this to me. He got it on one of his jobs, and I use it like as a pry bar, as a hammer. It's incredibly lightweight yet incredibly strong, but it's just the right weight for a lot of things. Sometimes you just need a hard, smooth surface to like bang something or smash or pry, you know. So this is actually something that I've gotten a tremendous amount of use out of. You can see all the dings and stuff. Anyway, and also it's just kind of cool. Piece of titanium. It's rad. Alright, hex wrenches. Got a whole bunch of screws in here. Hex wrench set. I've got 2 of these, a metric and an imperial. These are super useful. I recommend anyone who is gonna be doing like small scale carpentry or mechanics to get like one of these, because they're so compact and yet you have like the full versatility of the entire set. It's extra battery, extra 12 volt. Yeah, this is one of my absolute favorite tools, but I'm going to say that it also is one of my least favorites. I'll explain why. So it's an additional chuck that fits into your quarter inch quick connect, and then you can use it just like you would any other chuck. I'll just put a drill bit in there really quick so you can see how this works. The one problem with this thing is that it really doesn't hold well. Yeah, so the problem with this thing is that it's, first of all, it's pretty hard to actually get it to stay secure. Like, you can hear that clicking. It's got like a cam system in there for tightening the chuck, so you have to push down really hard to get it to like engage and therefore tighten. The problem with that is that it actually doesn't hold very well. So I may be in the middle of using this and then the bit comes loose. It seems kind of like a chicken shit solution for what was a $50 piece of hardware. On the other hand, it is like incredibly useful, because I have one driver, so when I'm on a job and I want to switch between, you know, my drilling of pilot holes and then my bit for driving fasteners, it's just like a 2-second operation as opposed to a, you know, 5 to 10 second operation if I was to be readjusting the drill's chuck for each operation. Okay, let's see what else do I have in here. I should really move like the camera over the top so you can see down, but I'm not gonna do that. I got this was like the original box cutter knife hybrid. This was like the first company that patented this design, called Super Knife. This is a like alpha version, so it actually sucks. It uses a screw to hold in the blade instead of what they use now, which are like sliders and various easy to use mechanisms. But I still get a lot of use out of this. Obviously a razor has many uses. Carpenter's pencil, also incredibly useful. Earplugs, I don't need these very often, but you know, sometimes. Got beeswax, a couple pieces of beeswax, which have just so many uses. Like, you can use it as something to improve grip on tools, protect tools, use it to make it easier to get like pipes to fit or wood pieces to fit. So very versatile. All this stuff in here, this is just junk and various things I've taken apart recently. God, broken screw pieces. I don't clean this out very often. I have a couple of these hole cutters. I mean, I use them mainly for mounting things. Like I will drill a hole in a piece of wood and then run PVC or something else through there. Also good for like running wiring and stuff. Yeah, okay, now let's turn it around and see what I got on the other side. Alright, got Arrow T50 stainless steel staples, which are like super useful for me in this nautical climate. Alright, I got locks, wood screws. I don't know all the sizes of these. I don't have them all memorized, but several different lengths. This is the biggest, useful for like heavy duty construction. And then I got stainless steel screws and stainless steel washers, which are just incredibly versatile and last forever. And that's about it. I got 2 sizes of washers. But I mean, with this box of tools and this selection of tools, I can pretty much build or repair almost any basic thing. I take this with me to work, and it's incredibly rare that I actually need another tool. Although, I mean, I have a carpenter square at work that I use a lot, and I just leave it there because it's like the public square. But yeah, so pretty cool toolbox. I'm 100% satisfied with it. Yeah, check it out if you want a small little toolbox to take with you on small jobs. I recommend it. Thanks for watching.